What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Anthony Sain Show. Here with my guys, man. We live on a Wednesday. We for real live. We ain't
We're live.
We're
live.
We live, man. We at the house right now, man. It is 12:02 p.m. here in Midtown, man. I'm with my guys, Perry Sharkey. I don't know my boy off work. I think he off work, man. He said he was doing some other stuff earlier. So you ain't off today?
Yeah, I'm off work. I'm off my day job, but my side hustle now.
Yeah.
Hustle keep going.
Yes, sir. Big Ben is Perry Sharkey is in the building. My man, the co-owner, the Vince McMahon of Bluff City Media / producer.
Whoa.
Whoa. Kenny Stubblefield in the building. I'm blowing kayfabe over here, man. Letting y'all know. Well, say how we make the sauces over here, man. Kenny, what's going on, my brother?
My brother, you good, man?
Man, I'm good, man. Feeling good on the Wednesday, man. Life is good. Life is great. Everything is just good. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad to be doing this here on the Wednesday. I'm off work, man. Your boy is off until Monday for the Thanksgiving holiday. Excited about that. I had a great day at work yesterday. We'll talk about that probably in the end of the show with the great event that the Grizzlies had yesterday. My two worlds got to intermingle a little bit, Kenny Stubblefield. My worlds collided yesterday at FedEx Forum. We'll talk about that later on in the show. We'll talk about the Memphis Grizzlies, just how they're looking right now. John Moran has been back. He's out tonight against Detroit, but he definitely is back in the building. And the Grizzlies are poised to make a nice little run. Currently sitting in fourth in the West. We'll talk about how they can gain some ground with the teams above them possibly in the West. We'll talk about that. But Kenny Stubblefield, not many times. Typically when we have this show, we start off with something that has to do with our Memphis Grizzlies. But today, Kenny Stubblefield, we have to talk about we have to keep the important things important, Kenny Stubblefield, and it is Allen time for your University of Memphis Tigers. It's been a real busy day at work. It's the holidays. I do work in social services, and there are a lot of people with a lot of needs this time of year. So it's just really hectic at my day job. And then, the Tigers had the audacity to have a game planned in the afternoon, right? So I'm in this training class, and I'm looking at my phone. I'm looking at the score. I'm like, the Grizzlies are really up on the number 2 team in the nation, two-time defending national champion, UConn Huskies, right?
Yeah.
And I'm watching the game. I'm not watching the game. And it got to be the second half. Like, okay, bro, I can't take it no more. I stood all I could stand. You know what I mean? So I hop on my bootleg streaming app, and I'm watching the game.
Yeah.
I've got an app that has like bootleg cable. So I'm watching the game live, right? Or semi-live. It's probably 8 plays behind.
It's probably 8 plays behind.
Yeah. So I'm watching my semi-live version of the game.
Right.
And I see just wild shit going on. UConn, like,
chaos,
crazy threes.
Yeah.
And they, the game goes into overtime, right? And I'm like, what in the hell, bro? So I'm just knowing this game is over. I'm like, all right, well, this is what I wanted. I said I wanted Memphis to have a valiant effort against UConn, and I'll be fine, right?
Right.
And goes into overtime. You're without PJ Haggerty, and you think it's pretty much over. And then you get what was supposed to have been a technical foul before the ball was in play foul, which would have gave Memphis 2 shots and the ball back. You got that nullified when Dane Danger came in, and so he got a technical foul and cleared it out. I was like, man, we really about to blow the game in regulation on some wild ass 3-pointers. It's like Mario Chalmers times 3.
Stop. That's what I feel like.
I don't even want to.
We didn't foul up 3.
Oh, that hurts my heart. Jonathan C. Smith is in the building. What's up, man?
What's going on, man? One of the ghosts, man. One of the ghosts, my guy. But yeah, you didn't foul up 3. You go to overtime. And then you lose PJ Haggerty, who's pretty much your best player, but in that particular game. But he was, he is one of your best players.
Absolutely.
And then you blow the opportunity to get the
Sharon Brown in the building.
Sharon Brown, what's going on? You blow the opportunity to get the 2 shots and the ball in overtime, right?
Yeah.
And then, like, I don't really know this team. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really know. I know, like, I gain a new kid probably once a week that I know the players on the team. I think I'm at a grand total of 5. Right?
Are you at 5 now? Let's name him.
PJ Haggerty.
There you go.
The other dude with the windy braids, with the Karen top braids.
You gotta get his name, bro. He been hooping.
All right, we're gonna come back to him. He's is it Hunter or something?
Yeah,
Tyrese Hunter. Yeah, Tyrese Hunter. Dane Danger. If y'all call the man Zebo one more time, I'm gonna snap. The dude's game. Just because he's got a bad build don't mean he's Zebo. Like, stop.
Who calls him Zebo?
I've seen a lot of people. Oh, he's like a baby Zebo. Like, let's relax. All right.
Stop it.
Dane Danger, Musa Cisse,
Baller. I'm so happy Moose was back.
The kid with the little kid face.
Nick Jordan.
Nick Jordan. Yeah, I know Nick Jordan. And in overtime, Kenny Stubblefield, I learned a brand new member of the University.
Got another one.
Yes.
And I'm watching the team. I'm like, who in the fuck is PJ Carter? Because I ain't heard that name at all, bro. Like, I've heard all these dudes' names before, right? I'm like, bro, who in the flying fuck is PJ Carter?
That was the first time I heard about him, too.
Right?
Like, who is this? Because there's another kid that's a light-skinned kid that's a freshman that I've seen is pretty good. And they got the old Koji kid.
Yeah, Jared Harris.
Jared
Harris, the old Koji kid. I knew him.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, who the fuck is PJ Carter? This dude's like making threes. Hit 6 straight free throws to seal the game. I'm like, bro, I've never heard that name. And I've kind of paid attention to this team. So I'm like, all right, shout out to that. University of Memphis won that game. Your boy Dan Hurley had a complete meltdown, and the memes came out. I made one of his breakdown, of his meltdown, and I said, this is the white allies.
I lost it when I saw that one. That one was so funny. This is the white allies at a peaceful protest.
Yeah, because the white allies, y'all, we be trying to come in peace. If you look at all these videos,
100%
peaceful protest, it get crazy. It gets squirrely when the crazy white people come to help the allies. It be them to be acting a damn fool. But yeah, man, shout out so I'm like, okay, bro, this is as good as it gets, man. If this is all we do this year, I think I'm looking at an NCAA tournament team, right? That's what my thoughts after watching Memphis beat UConn and Dan Hurley.
Yeah.
And I felt good. I felt vindicated to see, Penny get that type of win. A lot of criticism he got, especially this summer, especially locally. You know what I mean? Whether it be media or fans who basically were kind of out on Penny Hardaway. And there was a situation where he had all the staff turnover. And how do you let go of Rick Stansberry? How do you mess that one up? And all those type of things. But Rick Stansberry's son is still here, so maybe Penny was right.
Hey,
maybe Penny wasn't bad.
Hey, you're replacing with Mike Davis. You keep pushing.
Yeah,
right. But all the jokes. Go ahead.
Nolan Smith, Mike Davis,
and Mike Davis, and keep pushing.
Keep it pushing, bro. Yep.
Yeah, with all the people who made the jokes about Penny's son leaving and going to play for somebody else. Why aren't we hearing jokes about how Rick Stansberry's son is still here?
And let's not forget, Faraji Phillips' son is on the
still
team
here too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. So anyway, so that's where I was. I was like, okay, this is a tournament team. We just beat the number 2 team in the nation. Yeah. I think that we are, that anything that shows that we're a tournament team.
Yeah.
So I'm at work again yesterday. I do bingo, music bingo. I'm doing that at Huey's last night. The Tigers game is on. I checked the score. We're up 9 in the first half. I'm like, what the fuck am I watching? Like,
who is this team? What is going on?
Tom Izzo in them.
Yeah, it want the team Jaren was talking about the post game the other day. But
yeah. So Memphis pulls the game out yesterday, and I'm like, okay, bro, what are we? I still don't know what we are.
Yeah.
I feel like we're a team that is, like I put a tweet out a couple of days ago, and I said, this Memphis team reminds me of the teams in our conference that just really get on our nerves. Like the teams that just go out there and play super hard. They have guys who just like improbable dudes knocking down big shots. And I'm like, bro, maybe this is just who this team is. Maybe this is a team that is a very good defensive team who has a very good backcourt and has a very good rim protector, Musa Cisse, who is a way better player in year 5 than he was in year 1.
Oh my God!
Yes,
and maybe this is just a good team. Like maybe they are a really good team. And it's crazy because it's like if you say that this is the Penny Hardaway legend killer run, that he's on the Randy Orton legend killer run. I mean, what a way to start it off, man! You beat Dan Hurley, who's the best coach in college basketball. You beat Tom Izzo, who's one of the greatest of all time. You're about to get Bruce Pearl, who you could avenge the Tigers' UT losses from back in the day.
But he's already beaten Bruce Pearl.
He
beat Bruce Pearl. It was last year. 2 years ago.
I know 2 years ago for sure. With Kendrick Davis.
Yeah, Kendrick Davis. That's right. It was a Kendrick Davis team. Yeah.
And it's crazy, man, because you could be looking at a situation where, I mean, the way the cards are lining up, are we getting Arkansas in the NCAA tournament with Coach Cal? I mean, it's Penny really on his legend killer Avenger in-game run right now. You know what I mean?
And Arkansas got all the former like Tiger basketball players' sons. They got the Wagner,
exactly.
DJ Wagner, Antonio Burke's son playing Arkansas.
Hold on. I feel old all the time. Something reminds me that I'm old as shit every day, right? Seeing
Jason Richardson's son.
Jason Richardson's son.
No. Modibo Diarra, whoever the kid is. Mommy Chiro, one of the African dudes we had on Calipari's team. His son plays with Cal.
Wasn't it Mamadou Diarra? Wasn't that his name? No, that's the UConn kid. Never mind. Yeah,
but there's a kid on Cal's team that was one of those African like bench players we had, and it's his kid. and he plays for Arkansas. I'm like, all right, bro.
It's Tiero.
Yeah.
Tiero.
Almami. It was Almami Tiero was the kid's the dad. Yep. I'm like, bro. I'm like, no, bro. Like these dudes. Like, no, bro. I'm not that old. But I'm happy for Penny, man. With all the people that have criticized him, even if it was rightfully so, I'm glad to see the things that he has learned. There are a lot of nuances of college basketball that Penny seems to have learned over the last couple of years, and that includes go get guys who just want to go play basketball, man.
Just want to hoop, man. Just hoopers.
And he's also, he's also learned the power of dude, fuck you. Like he's not dealing with the bullshit. Like if kids who came here trying to grandstand or try to hold things over him, okay, man, roll. And it was too many dudes like that last year that he had to play these type of games with. And I remember, Kenny, me and you had a conversation when it kind of looked like we weren't going to get David Jones, when David Jones was going to leave, right? And I remember having a conversation. I was like, bro, fuck that dude, man. Like, and when I saw that Penny was like, man, go do what you do. We're not going to play this game with you. I was like, man, that may not work for Penny in the short term, but it's going to work out for him in the long run to have that type of mindset with these guys. Let these dudes go on about their business. And he's got a team of guys who just want to go play basketball. Yep. And guess what, Kenny? They're not doing it for the city. Nope. You know what I mean? There's not a single Memphis kid on this team. And they've been in Memphis for a few months. They're not doing this for Memphis. They're doing it for their own self-pride. That's something I talked about last year. Like, screw all this do it for the city shit. Like, just go do it, bro. I don't care who you're doing it for, but just go do it.
Just go do it. That's all that matters.
He's got a team of guys that's doing it, man. I'm excited to see it. Like I said, I'm super disconnected from this team, but I'm going to get connected to this team. You need to. This is the type of team that you can get behind. This is the type of team you want to get behind. Yes. It's exciting, man. I'm down for it for sure.
Yeah, I think that it is. It's one of those things with this team that you ask, who are they? Like, who is this team? And it is the type of team I think that that media and fans can get around. In that, like you called them, they are a dominant defensive team right now. They are a chaos-driven team. They create so much chaos for the opponents. Like the last
good too.
That UConn and Michigan State game, man. I was texting some people and I was like, Penny has got these dudes in literal hell on offense. Like they don't know what to do. Like they were getting down. There's a lot of complaints I have about college basketball, the way the game looks, the way that the rules dictate the flow of the game. The fact that there's a 30-second shot clock is absurd to me. I think that is way too long.
You have the same rules as
it should be NBA rules. Yeah. But
the ladies are smart. The ladies play 4 10-minute quarters.
Right. Yeah. And that's what they do.
I mean, possession arrow jump out.
Stupid. It's dumb. This ain't elementary school, dude. Like, what are we talking about?
Go throw the ball in the corner and jump it up, man. Like, what are we talking about?
You got the spots to do it anyway. Like I mean, just a few years ago, the shot clock was 35 seconds long. Yeah. Now it's 30. I mean, it's way too long. But Penny's teams, like in that UConn game especially, dude, there was like 10 seconds left in the shot clock, and UConn was still trying to entry the ball in to run their offense. They couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
It was just like, pass it so we can get it. I mean, just like hot potato. Like, what? I don't want to be in this mix, man. It's too crazy.
They're nasty, man. They're nasty. They're like the Penny had a few years ago. They had really good defense. Except for you got dudes that can score the ball.
Yeah, he got. I've been telling Kenny like this whole summer. I was like, well, by the way you explained the team, I was like, it sounds like the Kendrick Davis team, but I think they're better. Their third, fourth, fifth players are better than.
Yeah.
And I'll say, I think their 1 and 2 players are better. I think PJ Haggerty is better than Kendrick Davis. I think Kendrick Davis was phenomenal, but he had to be. PJ Haggerty is 6'3", 6'4".
6'3". He going to the NBA.
He's an NBA level on-ball guard. Like he's got to get his jumper right. But you saw him yesterday.
Kenny, he reminded me of Shea Gilders.
Yes. Dude, that's a great.
He gets to the free throw line just like him, foul merchant.
Yeah, it does seem like he gets to the line. It seems like every time I look up, he's at the free throw line.
Last year, Anthony, PJ Haggerty played for Tulsa as a true freshman, right? He went to the line. Was it? I don't want to get the number wrong, but it was number 2 in the country in terms of free throws attempted per game. Guess who was number 1?
Who?
Zach Edey.
Oh shit!
Of course.
Right.
Of course he was.
So, so he's doing this
analytics.
And so he's doing the same thing again this year. The dude is, And people can say he flops, he does this kind of stuff, but the problem is with it, man, is he just goes. I mean, he is just
he traveled a lot. I ain't gonna.
No, but they called it. They called it on.
They called it finally the second time.
I was concerned about him, man. Because when I went to I hate to use like a Memphis Madness event for how I gauge how a player is going to be.
Oh yeah,
he just looked super uninterested. Like I don't want to have a part of it
because it didn't mean anything.
Right.
The dude is a dog
He a
competitor.
Yeah, he's a hooper, man.
Unless he's competing, he don't give a shit. Like that's the thing with him is like, so the Memphis Madness thing was just nothing for him. He was just 35 footers, just yak, like missing them.
Yeah.
And he was also dealing with an injury at the time. But I'll say this, like this team is, so you got PJ playing really well. Tyrese Hunter is the guy who probably is going to be the Maui Invitational MVP. I mean, he is balled out. Yes. And the beauty of it though, Ant, is this, like, this is one of the ways that I've described this team and why I think this team has staying power in terms of, because let's not forget, man, last year's team did the exact same thing, right?
Yep.
Bahamas, they beat Michigan, they beat Arkansas. Then they lost to Villanova in the championship game. They got blown out by Villanova. Yeah. And I think there's a lot of people that are rightfully so right now. We got 4 hours until the game against Auburn are going, is the same thing going to happen? It very well could. I'm not going to say Auburn is fantastic. What the Tigers do well, Auburn is just as good. Like they are physical. They shoot the ball really well. Tigers are number 3 or number 5 in the country in 3-point shooting efficiency right now. I mean, they're
which Tigers?
Oh, the Memphis Tigers are.
Okay.
And so you've got these guys, like it could very well be the thing that I say is different about this team is what their identity is, right? This team's identity is based in their defense and not on their offense. It felt like last year there was such offensive talent.
They were just out-shooting, outscoring teams.
Outscoring. And when things went sideways, all they could rely on was their offense.
Yep.
And they were like, okay, well, who's going to get the ball then? Is it going to be David, or is it going to be Javon, or is it going to be Jaquan, who thinks he should get it? Like,
so I was talking with Terry Davis, I think after whichever Grizzlies, I think it's after the Portland game, and we was talking about Caleb Mills' injury.
Right.
Because he was the only person, he was their defensive anchor essentially.
Right.
And once he got hurt, that was it. Everything
fell apart.
And he wasn't just a defensive anchor. He was a dude who was literally a selfish dude who wasn't playing for himself. Mm-hmm. It was so many dudes. It was so much bullshit Penny had going on that team, bro. Like you had Quinley, like you said, you had David Jones, who clearly was playing for himself. Quinley had some mental stuff going on. Seemed like the dude literally stopped playing basketball after last season. You know what I mean? Like he literally stopped playing basketball after his college career. He stopped. He didn't even want to go. He was done.
Let's add some layer to it, Ant. He turned down a 7-figure contract in Italy.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's not like he didn't have options.
Right.
He was playing pro.
You had the stuff with that wing. What was the wing's name? Who was he was like 6'8", 6'7".
Oh, the guy from Wichita State.
Yeah, you had stuff going on with him. You had the big man that left came back. He was super out of shape, hurt still. You had a kid that transferred in. You had the Malco stuff. He had all that drama last year. This just seems like a group of kids who want to play defense, want to go play basketball, want to go hoop, and they want to win. And I think Penny, this is I think this is going to be Penny's best season. I don't predict the fall off because I think last year it was so much bullshit going on. I just don't see that stuff happening with this type of team. I don't see it.
Marcus Walker says people just need to give Penny time. There are coaches who have been doing this a lot longer who recruit just as well and weren't getting the heat Penny got when things didn't go well.
Yeah, real talk.
Real talk.
I agree with it. Like, and that includes fans. Like, I've been critical. I've been rightly critical for things that I've openly criticized Penny about throughout his run. But you have to give that man props for what he's done this year. And I'm gonna talk about the elephant in the room. Let's give props to Ed Scott, man, because Ed Scott has shown the ability to not only lead that athletic program, but to realize I have got to build a relationship with Penny Hardaway. Not only has he built one, he brought in Tim Duncan, who was his former teammate. Not just some weird hire, a guy who's a qualified AD, who could be a head AD in the school.
Tim Duncan was in the running with Ed Scott for this job.
He brought him in. He's the guy who's connected to Penny, has connections to Penny. Yeah. And you can tell that those guys are locked in step and they're close. You can tell that they're doing this in unity. And he's allowed Penny to grow. He's allowed him to make mistakes. Penny has a absolutely awesome coaching staff with him as well.
Yeah.
And we all thought it was Rick Stansberry, and then we're seeing that Rick Stansberry was fucking more shit up than anything. Like he was the one who had the NIL thing going on with the kid who left, promising him all this money, and he was gonna start now this. Like no, and I think that what Penny has now is really good. I'm excited.
Did you see the video?
Go ahead.
Hey, did you see the video from yesterday that was floating around the internet? You talked about Ed Scott, right? And I completely agree with you. You know, haven't been able to, you know, be around Penny during press conferences and things like that. All of us, all of the media that covers Penny is all said privately, he's in a different headspace this year. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that this is the first year where he feels like he has a relationship, a backing from the athletic department. I am a known critic of Laird Veatch and the way that he handled Penny Hardaway. He handled him as if he was scared of him, as if he couldn't, like, I don't know how to talk to you. I don't know what to say to you, so I'm just going to leave you alone.
So the narrative starts becoming that Penny is the problem.
That Penny's the issue, right?
The video, the older white guy has a problem with him, so it clearly is Penny that's the problem. That's the narrative that comes out, all that type of stuff.
And Penny's Laird was never out in front. The greatest thing that Ed Scott has done, that Ed Scott did.
Oh man, get out in front. Yeah,
come on, say it. Go ahead.
He got out in front. He went on.
He got out in front. Yep.
A week or two into his time here, he sat down with Jeff Calkins and did an interview about all the nonsense that was happening. You know, the floating rumors around the program, and so Penny didn't have to be the one to get out in front of it. Ed Scott did. He stood in front of Penny and said, "I'm gonna take these bullets real quick for you."
Yep. And something that you said is real. This real talk, man. Like, if Penny is this forward guy who's, you know, out there drowning by himself, saying things that might be questionable, doing things that might be questionable, right? If the AD ain't saying nothing, it's all on Penny. Like Penny's taking all of it.
Silence.
He's going to look like the bad guy. And if they're not talking, it's got to be Penny's fault because we see what he's doing. But Ed Scott came and said, "No, let me get in front of you, bro. I'll be the face of this organization." And we'll but how commendable is it for him to say, I'm going to be the bigger person, not like more mature person, but I'm going to be the one out front in front of one of the NBA superstar, Penny Hardaway, the king of the city, for Ed Scott to come in and do that.
Well,
and it's paid dividends for this team.
The video that was floating around yesterday is Jason Munns, commercial appeal beat writer for the Memphis Tigers, showed a video on Twitter of he's in Maui. And there was a big rock cliff, and there was these two guys up on top of the rock cliff, and they jump in. One of them was the president of the University of Memphis, Bill Hargrave, and the other one was Ed Scott, the athletic director. They were fulfilling a bet that they made with the team, the basketball team, that if they beat UConn, they would cliff dive.
Damn.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Like,
dang.
Like that's, I mean, come on, man. Like, come on, like that,
that's building relationships. That's what's
dude.
up.
What are we talking about here, man?
True.
Like,
wow.
That is crazy stuff. Like, it is. I am, as a Memphian. All three of us are Memphians. It makes me almost emotional to think about the success that Penny is having, and that he deserves it, man. Like, he deserves to be talked about in this way and not previous ways.
Yeah, man. I'm with it.
I'll say I feel like this team is going, like we was talking about the problems with last year's team. Although they started well, we saw the inklings of it. We saw Javon Quinley take that crazy shot against Ole Miss that was like, hold on, something right with this team.
Yeah,
this team don't feel like that. Everybody know their picking order. Everybody know their role, and they all get along. And also, it's only an 8-man rotation. That's what Penny needs. Playing 11, 12.
Like Penny playing the same dudes all game long. It seems like they ain't
he played 8-man rotation, and he went 9 yesterday with Jerry Harris because of foul trouble. Like, that's exactly what he needed. Just a team, just like Kendrick Davis' team. Kendrick Davis, DeAndre Williams' team was built the same way. It wasn't super deep. He kept it condensed.
Because he ain't got no egos to feed. Dudes, okay, I'm just here to be on the team. Like, I ain't, I'm doing my job. I love it. Well, gentlemen, we about to take a break. But for those y'all who are watching, that's what I need y'all to do, man. If you're watching this on YouTube, share it. If you watch it on Facebook, share it. Twitter, however you watching the show, share this joint. I need 500 in this joint before we done. Keep coming, man. We're going to throw your comments up on the screen if we feeling what you're talking about. But like I said, share it. About to take a break. When we come back, we're going live today. It's going to be me, my boy, Parrish Sharkey, Kenny Stubblefield. We'll see y'all back for more to Answer the Sain Show. See y'all in a minute.
UConn played a fine game. Like they didn't. They weren't bad. They played well. Tigers
Both
are just
teams
better.
played very well.
Tigers are just better. You've watched a lot of college basketball. Where does that has to rank way up there, just in terms of overall game, right? Like it's just. I mean,
That's what I'm saying. Even as a general fan, like that was a good basketball game to watch.
Yes,
Both teams were making shots. They had post guys that were playing well. There were defensive plays left and right. I mean, there was excitement in the sense of some technical fouls and other stuff, which, I mean, isn't always the best. But that was the biggest part to me. I was thinking it at halftime and early parts of the second half. It was like, even if we don't pull this out today, like this team, they look good. They're having fun, and it's making the viewing experience, especially as a fan, fun. And that's what I feel like that's what we've missed.
Tune in to Tigers Untapped with TJ Willis and Trey Lasley every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Remember the conversations that people were having of, is the team better without Ja?
I never entertained those.
Well, no, I didn't either.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, they were humorous to me. What a difference he makes when he's on the floor of just
everything.
From the moment you step on the floor thinking we can win this game or we're going to win this game.
It's not just a skill. Like there's an it factor that those guys have. That when they're playing and when it's going on, there's just a different vibe. There's a different feel. What he embodies in and of himself, it changes every single thing that happens on the floor, but it also changes everything that happens in the crowd. His it factor, his superstardom, and then the ability to back it up with how he plays.
Tune in to the Night Court Podcast with your hosts, Rob Fisher and Brevin Knight, on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to the Anthony Sain Show. Here with my guys, man. Got my blue cup on y'all, man. We don't do red cups over here, man. We do it blue, man. I'm gonna tell y'all something else. Speaking of keeping it blue, keeping it Memphis, man. You know, we were talking about the Grizzlies and like the uniform stuff, right? And rebranding and all that. Bro, that Vancouver's uniform is cool. Like I fool with it, I like it. But bro, we ain't wearing no Vancouver colors and no rebrand. Y'all get y'all 18-year-old ass about there with that, bro. We ain't wearing that, bro. It's Memphis, bro. It's big Memphis. We keep it blue over here, man. It's home of the Blues, man.
Yeah,
we ain't wearing no teal and red and brown now, bro. Get about it.
Hey, show us that hoodie, man. Ooh, I didn't even see that before.
I want to sit on y'all ass, bro.
I'm sure that 1 cent joint. Yeah.
1 cent.
John, man, with the on your bitch. Hold on.
Oh.
Hey, like you told me about my hoodie the other day. Don't leave that hoodie around.
Don't leave that around me, boy.
Hey, look, I got the black judge just like this, man. We can swap it out, but you want to give me that judge you got on? I got the black one. Like.
Yeah, let's talk off there. I might take you one though.
I love that hoodie you got on, man. I love that jump for sure. But even though it got the Vancouver Bear, but I like that Vancouver Bear better than the current.
Yeah, that's color.
Yeah, the Vancouver Bears, though. Yeah,
I love that Vancouver Bear for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. But speaking of the Grizzlies, man, it's feeling good, man. I talked to Kenny yesterday. I said, bro, I don't do the basketball gods talk. I don't do all that. But the basketball mojo on the city of Memphis just feels good as hell right now, bro.
The weather's getting a little cooler outside. That means there's basketball weather. That means
basketball time.
Oh,
when we ain't gonna be sitting outside in the Simmons Bank, you know what I'm saying, screwing around with those balls, man. You sitting up next to man with something bad next to you, man, with a warm drink, man. You know what I'm talking about? Watching that. Shout out to my friend Helen Johnson in the comments, man. Pull up her comment real fast. She said, I saw that video. What will we do if we win the trophy today? I don't know what we're doing, but we celebrate. But Helen shared this video in the Tiger basketball group. I don't know how that's going to be received there. But I do.
The Facebook one.
Hey, shout out to all the Tiger fans. I know y'all don't like us too much over there, but we love y'all, man. We appreciate
y'all, man.
Yeah, man.
We love y'all, real shit. But yeah, that ends the Tiger basketball segment of the show.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's
talk about the city's team for a second.
Talk about the city team, man. Memphis Grizzlies, man, it's really feeling good, man. And we have the injury situation feels like it's about to stabilize. You got Ja back, had a little knee situation. I think it's a rest game. I think they're trying to
100%.
rest Ja as many
He
games.
played the rest. He played the rest of that game, so I know he's good.
Because he's still rehabbing from that stuff with his hip.
Yeah,
so I don't think this is any type of injury concern. These guys hurt their knees every game. Trust me.
If you've never banged a knee on somebody else's kney, bro.
I know, yeah.
Oh God.
I used to see Zach Randolph with the $2.75 ice bags on each knee after the game.
Yep.
I know these guys, their knees
doing timeouts.
Yeah, exactly. And Desmond Bain puts a back brace on whenever he's not in the game.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
These guys are constantly hurting. You know what I mean? So I don't think that there's anything. You can always pull out an injury for a reason for a guy to rest. Ask the Atlanta Hawks and Trae Young.
$100,000, bro.
Yeah, man, that man said, "Fuck it, I just ain't playing." Oh man, that's crazy. But it just feels good, man. I hate the Vince Williams injury. You feel like Edie's gonna be back soon. Gigi, I think I'm saying I'm thinking Gigi will be back before 2025. I think you'll see Gigi Jackson in December.
I thought they said January.
Who said it?
The last thing he said, he was on some type of show. He said ended late December, early January.
Oh, okay. I must have heard late. I thought I heard late January. My bad.
Yeah, I'm pulling for Gigi.
No, late December. Yeah,
30 days. I think we got Gigi back in 30 days.
Yeah, Vince would be not too far out to him.
Right, but we're just in a good place, man. You got Brandon Clark playing good basketball.
Yeah,
they stopped running.
Not taking threes.
Yeah, and I told y'all that I felt like this team, the season was going to stabilize. Like a lot of things, like with the offense, because the offense does not look as fast as it looked when the season first started. And I think when Ja comes back, a lot of the elements and principles of this offense are going to change. I think you'll see Ja saying, "Hey, get your big ass up here, set this screen. Let's go play like we played." Hey, I think Ja's got a play called 2021-22. Like get your big ass PC.
Hey, Project 21-22.
Yeah, Project 21-22. Yeah.
So we had asked him after the game which pass he built, that pass, that behind the back pass, the BC or the alley to Jaren. He was like, that BC pass, he's like, it's textbook. We do that. We know that like the back of my hand.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was one of the sickest assists I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Like that.
See, he liked the Jaren one because he thought he overthrew him.
Right.
And Jaren slammed. He was like, "Oh yeah."
And that's another thing too, man. Jaren Jackson Jr. is playing crazy good basketball,
all-star level
basketball at like the highest percentages he's ever shot from 2 and from 3. Looking like an all-star for sure. And
like all NBA team performing.
And I've told people this forever. Like, there was a lot of anti-Jaren stuff out there. And I was like, you say what you want about Jaren, but the best version of this Grizzlies team is when Jaren is either your first or your second best scorer on this team, like 100%. As far as points per game. And you're seeing how the Grizzlies have opened up because Jaren is the leading scorer on this team. And we know that Ja's the best player on the team. Ja's in a whole nother stratosphere. But I think the best version of Ja is when he's making another guy as good as him. Mm-hmm. And I've always said that needs to be Jaren. And Desmond Bain's a guy who can go out there and score, go do his thing. But I think that when you're 6'11" power forward is that guy, it takes you to a whole nother level. It's the difference between Anthony Davis being the second best player on your team and Austin Reeves. You know what I mean? Like when you got a guy like Anthony, a guy like Jaren who can do his thing, it takes things to a whole nother level. But they're playing great ball right now. But let's talk about something that has been kind of an elephant in the room, something that's kind of been a shadow over this team the entire season. And shout out to guys like DeMichael Cole for breaking the news and just kind of letting people know that this is what it is. This is not something that's speculated. This isn't a plot, a ploy, but it's a real thing. And that's that Marcus Smart will be a player coming out the bench for this team. And I'm gonna share what I believe to be this is all Anthony Sain speculation. This is a timeline I'm going to speculate that I think happened. I'm not going to say there's no intel though. It's slightly guarded by things that I've heard, guided by things that I've heard, and just things I've observed with the common eye. Like I'm not getting like play-by-play intel from this where people are telling me everything that's happened. But I believe that last year, that there was a conversation with Marcus Smart where he was informed that the most likely scenario will be that you won't start on this team. And I think that the player that was going to start for him was Vince Williams. And I think that after that, Marcus Smart wasn't really a fan of that whole conversation. Of course, he probably wouldn't. And I think that the intention this season was for Vince Williams to be the starting small forward. That couldn't happen because Vince wasn't ready when the season started. So, of course, Marcus started. And I think that when Jalen Wells emerged, that this conversation was revisited. I told y'all a few weeks ago, I bet there's a conversation that's been had between the Grizzlies and Marcus Smart. I said that here on this show with both of y'all. And I think that conversation did happen. And according to the Michael Cole, it did happen because he's been told that you're not starting. And there was a situation when Marcus Smart came back and he didn't start game one. People are like, oh, they're just trying to get him revved back up. They just trying. I said, okay. I was like, all right. And then I said, if he don't start this next game, I know something. If he don't start, right? But he didn't start and Bain didn't start either.
Yeah.
So you're like, damn.
Right, damn it. I started thinking, okay, if the ultimate goal is for them not to start Marcus Smart and they don't want it to kind of be abrasive or whatever, you don't start nobody when they come back. We say, why the hell Bain ain't starting, bro? The best way is don't start nobody, and then you just kind of phase Bain in and you keep Smart out, and then it looks a little bit more organic or whatever, right? And I think that's exactly what's happened. I think that Jalen Wells showing that he's a guy that can carry that load has totally changed the calculus of what this team is and what they can be. Because when you go from having even though he's an elite level defender, when you go from having a 6'3" shooting guard who can't really shoot the ball too well to a 6'8" young athletic wing who's shown the ability to his shots been kind of here and there, but he's shown the ability to be a true 3-and-D wing even at a young age. It shows you what this lineup could look like with the Vince Williams or with or guys you've tried to go after like the Mikal Bridges, the OG Ananobis, the Cam Johnsons, these type of guys. It shows you what this team could look like with a guy like that. And Ja's able to find Wells. He's making the game easier for him. And I just think that I don't know what they end up doing with Marcus because we ain't really seen him healthy. But he looked a whole lot better coming out the bench against was it Chicago? Portland. He looked a whole lot better coming to the game against Portland. Just coming in, giving hard minutes, defending, getting to the rim, taking timely shots. Then he's looked at as a starter.
Post-Neil smaller.
Yep. Then he's looked at as a starter. And if I think it was Chris Ingram that had this conversation on his show. But the question I'm gonna throw out is this: if Marcus Smart is willing to play a role coming out the bench for this team, and you got Jalen Wells, and you might get Vince Williams later on. I mean, a few weeks or whatever. No, I think he's months away. You got to get Vince Williams back. You get GG back. Do you really need to make another move? Like, would I want Cam Johnson on this team? Hell yeah, I would. Yes, I would love Cam Johnson on this team. But if Marcus Smart comes in and he's fine coming out the bench and it works, and Jalen Wells is defending his ass off, you get Vince back, you get GG back, I might be all right with just keeping this shit the way it is. And I'm not saying that there's a deal out there, don't do it. But I'm just saying, if they didn't.
Yeah. So this team, they don't necessarily, and we've been saying how deep they are. They don't have to make a deal, right? You do, this team as constructed, if healthy, can compete for a championship. Right. The only thing about like making a deal was, because you got some of the young wings. Like you said, you got Jalen Wells. Jalen Wells pretty much surpassed
that dude changed everything. That dude being this good changed a lot, bro.
If he wasn't what he was, then you'd be thinking, let's get Cam Johnson. Let's get.
We gotta go get Cam Johnson
because it's not a big deal. And people like trade players when they were expiring deals, which is Santi and Jake LaRayfield. Play out the season. If this team is working gel together, Santi is having a career year as well. He's rebounding his ass off, right?
And if you want to pay him this summer, go pay him. Go pay him, go pay Jaren, go pay everybody. Let's bring it back and let's roll. Let's go.
Right. Especially if you win the championship or you get close. Like,
go pay everybody. Luke Kennard, you want some money? Yeah, we got you too.
Right. just roll it. Just roll the ball down and keep going. Because right now you're essentially 14 deep. And John Conchard's your 15th man, and he can play when people are out.
He's the only one that ain't playing Yuki. No, he's a two-way player. But yeah, exactly.
Oh, this team is it.
Yeah, that's another thing too about this team. Like, we're fourth in the West right now, and ain't had 2 or 3 straight games in a row with a nice little nucleus of guys that are healthy. Like we ain't had that yet. We're still fourth in the West. And I said this at the beginning of the year, and people were not getting behind this, and I hope y'all see it now. People have to understand that the Grizzlies are not a young baby team in the NBA. We are one of the more mature, stabilized teams in the league. And like the big man discussions, right? We have not played a lot of games with the true starting center. The most games we played have been with Jaren and BC. And Zach Edey is a kid. He's still learning how to play in the NBA. And we're still beating teams because most teams in the NBA ain't got a center at all. You play against teams like Portland, ain't throwing nobody out there. Like, I mean, they got dudes, they got centers too, but it's like Jaren and BC are able to maintain. Jay Huff is able to compete with those type of guys. These invisible made-up centers that we've made in the NBA do not exist.
These 2K centers that we've made up.
Yeah, like those. There's not a lot of centers in the NBA.
Yeah.
And like everybody, that Jaren Brandon Clark lineup still fucking works, bro. It works very well, even as a starting lineup.
Yeah, and to expand on your point, that like we said, that Jaren, when Clark plays his best when he's playing with Jaren.
100%.
Maybe Taylor Jenkins did see that. He was like, "Hey," and Zach Edey has played better off the bench than he was as a starter.
And so I'm not mad at Zach Edey.
There might be something going forward. There might be something going forward because
they do it. If Zach Edey comes back and he's feasting off of dudes that are like
right
the same bums he beat up in college for the last 3-4 years, I'm not mad at it at all.
And he played more minutes coming out. He I think they attributed to him getting in foul trouble. He's less in foul trouble coming off the bench. And guess what? You can come off the bench and still he was giving Anthony Davis hell when they played the Lakers. Like,
oh my god.
Like you got that matchup to make in any scenario. Okay, this team want to play big. All right, we're gonna put Zach Edey out there. Guess what? We match up with you. You want to go small? Guess what? We could put Santi and Jaren or Brandon Clark and Jaren whatever iteration. Or you put all three of them, put Santi at 3. You know, it's so many different ways this team can play, man. It's definitely exciting to see, man.
I'm gonna speak to the depth of this team, right? A realistic scenario that a lot of fans, when I say this, well, no, you're wrong. Are you watching them? Like a realistic scenario, and I'm gonna base this off of the past of what I actually saw with my 4 eyes, right? Scottie Pippen Jr., who surprised the shit out of everybody, even people that were the biggest Scottie Pippen fans, did not see him being a guy that would be this level of player. Scottie Pippen Jr. For the most part, won't play a lot of minutes when this team is full.
I hope yes.
And we saw that the other night. He played a decent amount of minutes of the 11-man rotation.
But a lot of guys not here. He still didn't play a lot of minutes.
Yep.
And I based that off of when the Grizzlies were like cooking in that 2021-22 playoff season, where like the year that we took Golden State pretty far.
Yeah.
Tyus Jones didn't play much in those playoffs.
He had to play like 15 minutes a game, if that.
Right, and we didn't have. And Zaire Williams might have been our best wing outside of Dylan Brooks. It was all we had. It was Dylan and Vince Wood and Dylan and Zaire Williams. I can totally see a situation where Scottie Pippen ain't playing much in a few months, and he's been good as shit. You know what I mean? Like it just kind of speaks to the depth of this team. And if you're starting Jaren and BC and it works, and BC starts looking more like BC, and Edey's doing well, I can see a situation where Jay Huff ain't playing too much, but we're still good as shit. I can see Vince and Gigi coming back, Jalen Wells being here.
Jake Laravia not playing.
And I don't think Jake playing no way in a minute.
Yeah. So who gets the backup?
Bernard ain't playing. I can see all this type of stuff.
But think about it. These are all productive players right now. Right. So that's a
crazy. I can see Gigi being good as shit. And Santi ain't playing that much. Yep. You know what I mean? Because he can play the 4, he can play the 3. Like I think this is a very good team.
I'll go opposite of you. I can see Gigi playing good as shit and not playing many minutes.
I can see that too.
Bro, I think y'all drunk.
I can see y'all scenarios.
I'm hearing that too much, and I think everybody's crazy who think that. Gigi is going to play minutes on this team.
It's not we think that it's not that that's what we would do, but we know who the coach is.
And we also know that you might be right because that dude's missed a lot of time. He might not
a lot of time.
Exactly. That's 3. That's gonna be about
that's
3,
what I'm saying.
2.5 months. Yeah.
But he's the type of dude, man. He'll come out there in the game. He'll show you in a short amount of time. Like, bro, I'm better than a lot of dudes on this team. Like, yeah.
But listen, I hope that happens. I hope that happens.
But you know, I tell you, Jenkins like the slow track stuff. Like Gigi might come out and do that, but he gonna wait until maybe after the All-Star break to unleash him type of thing.
And it's not like Santi's lineups when Santi's out there. Santi's been balling, bro. Like you've seen you could put Santi at the 4. You've seen him. You can start him at the 3.
He can bring the ball up the court.
He can bring the ball up the court.
Man, Santi and with bro, if we can just get a sustained run of Ja Morant on this team,
Man, dude,
It
he
does.
makes all them dudes better because I really want to
does.
see because we saw Ja like make Zaire Williams look like a basketball player. And Zaire Williams ain't a basketball player. And Ja literally made that dude look good. I really want to see a long run of Ja with Jalen Wells, Ja with Vince. Ja ain't bro.
Yeah, he ain't played with Gigi.
Bro, Ja Morant has
They ain't
never
played
played a second of basketball with Gigi Jackson. That's
wild.
preseason, regular.
Nothing.
He's never played a second of basketball with Gigi Jackson.
That's wild. That's so wild. I can't wait to see that. Pair.
Bro, we.
I can't wait to see Zach. I can't wait to see John and Zach play more minutes together.
Yeah.
Bro, like I said at the beginning of the season, we are not a little kid team. We are one of the more established veteran teams, like stabilized teams in the league. We are going to be good. We're going to be a very good team. And the thing that a lot of people missing out on in the season where we've had all this bullshit happen, losing to Brooklyn twice, letting the Bulls come back on you, letting Houston come back on you, these weird losses we've had, right? We are fourth in the West with all of that going on. We only 2.5 games out of first place because there aren't that many good teams in the NBA, bro, and we're one of them. And when we get healthy, when we get fully healthy, when I say fully healthy, where you're stabilized, where Ja, Jaren, and Bane are there, you're going to have those guys a lot. This team is going to be good as shit, man.
Where you have guys that are inactive.
Yeah, we got to choose because we had an inactive list the other day. I was like, oh shit.
We're a real NBA team now.
Yeah, we got but man, yeah, when the Collinsons, what's that dude's name?
Castleton.
Yeah, Castleton. It's
Castleton.
crazy because like we've been having all these two-way guys that have like literally turned into rotation players or whatever.
Hey, they ain't slick either with making.
Or Collins just want to be a dude in the G League, man. Hey man, just let me hoop, man. Go ahead.
Hey, they ain't slick making Cam Spencer inactive after UConn lost to Memphis. They ain't slick, bro. Because he was talking. Terry Davis talked to him before the game, like the last week, and he was like, "Nah." He was like, "Oh yeah, we got that in the bag easily." But we ain't see him after that.
How you feel?
Right. Well, man, gentlemen, let's take a break, man. When we come back, I want to talk about a very, very, very special event that the Grizzlies were a part of yesterday, man. Tug my heartstrings, man. You might see Anthony Sain cry live. Oh. Saying so. No, I ain't gonna get to crying. I think I'll be all right on that. But we'll talk about a great event the Grizzlies had. Like I said, share this, man. However you watching it, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, get this joint out here, man. We're going live today. I want to get as many eyes on this as possible. It's been a great show so far. Thank y'all for the comments. Thank y'all for the interaction you guys have been giving so far. Hope you guys are enjoying your Wednesday. Hope y'all are off work, man. If not, cut this job up loud. It's your job on your laptop, man. Whatever you're doing. We'll see you guys in a minute for more of the Anthony Sain Show. See y'all soon.
UConn played a fine game. Like they didn't. They weren't bad. They played well. Tigers
Both
were just
teams
better.
played very well.
Tigers were just better. You've watched a lot of college basketball. That has to rank way up there just in terms of overall game, right? Like it's just
that's what I'm saying. Even as a general fan, like that was a good basketball game to watch.
Yes,
Both teams were making shots. They had post guys that were playing well. There were defensive plays left and right. I mean, there was excitement in the sense of some technical fouls and other stuff, which I mean isn't always the best, but that was the biggest part to me. I was thinking it at halftime and early parts of the second half. It was like, even if we don't pull this out today, like this team, they look good, they're having fun, and it's making the viewing experience, especially as a fan, fun. And that's what I feel like that's what we've missed.
Tune in to Tigers Untapped with TJ Willis and Trey Lasley every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Remember the conversations that people were having of, is the team better without Ja?
I never entertained those.
Well, no, I didn't either.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, they were humorous to me. What a difference he makes when he's on the floor of just
everything.
From the moment you step on the floor thinking we can win this game or we're going to win this game.
It's not just a skill. Like there's an it factor that those guys have. That when they're playing and when it's going on, there's just a different vibe, there's a different feel. What he embodies in and of himself, it changes every single thing that happens on the floor, but it also changes everything that happens in the crowd. His it factor, his superstardom, and then the ability to back it up with how he plays.
Tune in to the Night Court Podcast with your hosts, Rob Fisher and Brevin Knight, on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to the Anthony Sain Show. Really having fun today, going live, man. Off work today.
Hey, before you end the show, Ant, I got commenter Art Duarte came in.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that. Yeah,
I want to ask you. You were talking about trades last segment. Do they need to make a trade? The depth,
it might not.
All these guys about a trade that will cost less draft capital, like Smart and Conchar, and Santi for Jeremy Grant and some filler.
Oh, that's what I'm about to say. Don't get it twisted, because there's a trade out there. I'm with it.
It's out there.
I'm a big Jeremy Grant guy, man, because like I said, he's a versatile defender. He can play the 3, he can play the 4. You can start him. You may be able to bring him off the bench. I don't know how that whole thing works, and I don't really think he gets in the way too much of guys like Gigi, Vince, etc. He can knock down the 3. You want to say he's shooting the ball? I know last year he was shooting 40%, if I'm not mistaken, or the year before, something like that. But he's a guy who's very versatile. I really like his game, for sure. So yeah, I'm definitely down for something like that. I don't know if I want to do.
And he's played that role before too.
I don't know.
Denver Nuggets in the bubble.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you somebody who can tell you a little bit about Jeremy Grant. Very good friend of mine. I don't know if we can do the 4-man on the screen.
I'll jump off.
Jump off, okay.
Yep.
But one of my good friends, man, he's in Memphis. He works for the Detroit Free Press, man. One of my favorite guys in the world. We sat down and had our annual Memphis breakfast today. My guy Omari Sankofa in the building, covers the Detroit Pistons for Detroit Free Press. What's going on, my brother?
Anthony Sain, what's going on, my guy? Good to see you again,
man. It's good, man. You were here covering the Grizzlies for the Athletic a few years ago, and we met.
Yeah,
instantly linked up on some BFF type stuff. Like can nobody fool with Omari? Like that was my guy. I remember they came with you about wrestling or something like that.
About wrestling, yeah.
How don't you know Memphis is a wrestling town? So shut y'all hillbilly ass up, man. Y'all ass up, man. Look, man, I don't know nothing about all that, bro. You trying to rake my boy over the coals because he didn't know Memphis was a wrestling town, man.
That's funny.
I remember that shit. But yeah, Omari, my boy's in the building, and we meet up every time the Pistons come to town. Me and O go grab some breakfast, man. We went to Biscuits and Jams today.
Yeah.
My boy went to
great spot.
Yeah, it was good.
Great spot. Great spot to send it to.
Omar, real quick, Jeremy Grant. How do you see him as a guy that could fit on this Grizzlies roster in the trade?
I think he could fit for sure. He's a guy, like obviously he played for the Pistons for a couple of years before they traded him to Portland, but can shoot the ball, obviously, could do some secondary ball handling, really solid defender. He's about 6'9", so you could put him on 3s and 4s and maybe some 2s and feel pretty good. The thing with him, and I will say I don't know what Jaren's, what's up, Sharon? Good to see you, Shy.
Yes, sir.
I don't know what Jaren splits between, power forward and center have been this season because I know Zach Edey's been playing a lot, but Jeremy really is a 4. So, I guess I'd be curious, like, can he play with Jaren at the 3, or would you have to move, or would you have to move Jaren to the 5? Because, if you're playing him at the 5 and Jeremy Grant at the 4, then you're not getting a lot of rebounding. So,
yeah.
Well, on paper, the Grizzlies are doing the whole. Right now, Jaren and BC are your starters. Jaren's the paper on paper is the 4. BC is the 5. But even if could you use Jeremy Grant if you have it on paper where Jaren's the 5 and Jeremy Grant is the 4? I'm sorry, bro, I said it the wrong way. Jaren is the 4 and BC is the 5, right? But if a guy like Jeremy Grant is here, could you use him in the same type of role like a BC? But even you can use him in this offense better because he can actually make the 3. But you're not actually using Jaren like the 5, if that makes any sense. Like, he's not the guy who's – you understand what I'm saying? Could you use him?
No, I got you. Yeah, I would say, like, Jeremy definitely is a much better shooter and all-around scorer, obviously. I think with BC, you could play him as, like, a small 5 because he can rebound. And that's, like, to me, like, the main difference is that you're not necessarily putting the ball
Yeah.
Like you're not putting the ball in BC's hands. He's doing all off ball stuff, and Jeremy's going to want the ball. So they're doing a
Yeah.
little bit different roles for sure.
Yeah, it's intriguing for sure. But your Detroit Pistons are in town today. Got a little signs of life, man. Coach JB Bickerstaff got them boys playing ball. What's been the biggest difference that's made Detroit a much more formidable opponent than they've been in years past?
Yeah, I mean they're 8-11. I think when the Grizzlies came to Detroit, I feel like it was like 2 times in 3 weeks last year. I don't think the Pistons had 3 wins at that point yet. So, obviously they're, so obviously off to a much better start being 8-11. A lot of the improvements on defense, I think we saw it here. JB had those guys defending. Even after they traded Mark Gasol last season with, Jonas Valanciunas, they were still, putting up a pretty good defense and competing. And that's just the main thing for the Pistons is they're competing. I think they have more confidence, more pride, better execution, and the guys are a little bit older. They added some vets like THJ and Malik Beasley who, kind of came in and I think, just added some more expertise to the room, which they needed. So they've been a much better team. They've been a lot more fun to watch. 8-11, so obviously they still have a ways to go. And they are without Cade Cunningham tonight, but some Memphis size too. Jalen Duren is in the building. Jaden Ivey obviously was in Memphis a lot when his mom Nia was an assistant coach here. So
a lot of times,
so even with without Cade, I think it'll be a pretty fun
Tim
game.
Hardaway Jr., who's busted our ass for
Hey, so I got a question. How was the vibe out there, Jaden? So Jaden, what happened to his name? Jaden Ivey had the game-winning shot the other night. So what is the vibe like just after that moment for the team?
Yeah, just excitement. I think excitement for JI to have a big moment like that. A guy in year 3 who that's taking a step forward this season. They had lost 3 straight games, like the last 2 of those without Cade. So, to get that type of win, without Cade, I think is pretty good. Even though Toronto hasn't been that good, like this Pistons team, was where they were not that long ago, so this Pistons team is not far removed from that, and every win's going to feel like a big win for them. So just good vibes, much better vibes for sure than this time last year.
Yeah, for sure. What are your thoughts on this Grizzlies team, man? I know you covered this team up close. You were here. That was your first year, if I'm not mistaken. The JB Bickerstaff team that had Mark and Mike kind of phasing out. You had Jaren as a rookie. You were here for you saw Grizz next gen, like in real time as it happened when you were covering the team. I made a comment earlier how I think people are forgetting that this Grizzlies team is one of the more experienced, one of the more poised, one of the older teams, even more veteran-led teams in the NBA, and they're looking that way when they play against teams that are not on that same level as them. In the way they've been able to maneuver through the injuries, through the coaching mishaps, all those type of things, to still be fourth in the West right now. What are your thoughts on this version of the Grizzlies team that you see right now?
Yeah, like it seems like this Grizzlies era has had so many starts and stops just for all sorts of reasons, whether it was, the injury issues Jaren had or, the situations Josh had, obviously most recently the injury. It just seems like there's been like a revolving door of players being in and out. And, this year I think you're finally starting to see it all come together. Jaren's, been doing what he does, still one of the top defenders in the league. I think his offensive game has been fleshed out a bit more. I mean, Ja's still Ja, obviously, like, we don't need to talk about him. He's obviously the engine for this group. But like the front office has just continually found guys who can contribute to, which I think is probably the silver lining throughout the injury issues, is that it's forced them to really find guys out the scrap heap, essentially, right? Where you have, guys who have come on 2-way contracts or mid-season signings or whatever, like they've come in, whether it's a lot of guys, man, Vince Williams, GG Jackson, like Scottie Pippen Jr. now, doing some good stuff. Zach Edey, I don't think he really had top, 10, 15 hype in the draft until, those last few weeks. So, it's just been cool to see how they've continually added to this roster and, found young guys who can contribute and still having some injury issues, but like knock on the wood, they've been due for a season like this for a minute. So.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, man, you are in town covering the Detroit Pistons and the Grizzlies playing tonight. Hopefully, Tim Hardaway Jr. doesn't hit 8-9 threes, because it seems like he's one of those dudes who, like, if you ask a Grizzlies fan, his value is way higher than probably other teams probably think, because he's always going off on us. But like I said, but this is my man Amari saying, Kobe, I'm gonna let you get back to what you were doing, man. I know that you just got in from shoot around over there. Any sights and sounds that Grizzly fans might be interested in, or even just as far as from the Detroit side, anything interesting that happened at shoot around today?
No, not really. I mean, Cade was there, but he's still this doubtful, so I'm not expecting him to play. So they'll just figure out how to do it without him.
I got you. This is my man Marcin Kofa over there grieving over that Michigan State loss to the University of Memphis Tigers. but it's all good,
man,
my boy.
Eat that one.
Yeah,
hey,
man.
good seeing y'all, man.
Hey, we get together tonight, probably, my boy.
For sure.
Yeah, that's my guy Marcin Kofa, man. Before we wrap this thing up, Kenny and Paris definitely want to talk about an event I was a part of yesterday. Shout out to the Memphis Grizzlies organization. They oh man, I hate I don't know the name of this organization. I should have did it during the break, but they did a collaboration with another organization, and they had a great event at FedEx Forum. There was a Thanksgiving, your typical Thanksgiving giveaway thing, right? Where you do uncooked food for people to come out in preparation of their Thanksgiving dinner. And I've been a part of a few of these, right? I've seen these done by the Grizzlies before, but this was the best one I've ever seen. I can't think of the name of the organization. If anybody wants to Google it or look in the comments and put it in the comments.
I'm trying to find it now.
I can look at my email and find out, but I really can't think.
Is it Lead for Change?
No, it's one word.
Because they don't even say in the email.
It is I want to give these people props, man, because they're incredible.
Gooder.
Gooder.
Yeah, Gooder. Gooder.
Oh, yeah. Gooder. Yeah.
Awesome organization. And about 200 families, 200 or so families, I believe, were fed through this event. And my day job, I work for the United Way. We had a nice contingent of families that were represented in that number as well. We had about 40-something families of that 200. And like I said, I've been a part of a lot of these, man. But this one hit so different because it was actually with my job. Like these were some of the families I've had contact with. And it was with my other job too. This is, one of my flows, one of my streams of income is, content creating about the Memphis Grizzlies. And it's like, man, I've had my opinions about all these dudes, right? Like I'm looking at Jake LaRavia. I'm like, Jake, you a goof, but you my guy, bro. You know what I mean? Like I don't. You just kind of remind you, like, bro, you don't really feel no way about none of these dudes. You know what I mean? Like even your opinions on basketball about these dudes really ain't that strong. But to just see the human element of these dudes. And the effect that helping these people had on them. Like I'm watching my boy Jay Huff and just different guys like really enjoying the process of taking care of families in the community. And but like I said, I've been a part of these a lot. And typically it's a basket that goes out that probably has a turkey in it, a couple other things. And I've toted a lot of these to people's cars and over time, right? Bro. One person could not tote the amount of stuff that was given to these families. They got either a turkey or a ham. It was like a full grocery store run these people got to make for Thanksgiving, pretty much. Your dairy stuff, they got
beautiful,
unlimited amounts of produce, many white potatoes, candy yams, green collard greens, like bushels of greens they could take home. Like it was. Squashes, cucumber, like whatever you needed, bro. Like the full, like the desserts you needed, stuff that like the full kits to make dessert, like cake mix, icing, stuff to make banana pudding, stuff to make. They had the Patty LaBelle pies, bro. It was like I was like, bro, this is awesome, bro. Mac and cheese, like full spread. Like people were leaving with, because one lady, the amount of stuff that she took out of there, it was a big box.
For Thanksgiving dinner
and 2 big ass bags full of stuff that these people were able to take home and just prepare their Thanksgiving meal. And like I said, I'll find some pictures of it and post them on my Twitter. But I'm talking about a spread, man. Like totally taking care of these families for Thanksgiving. It was absolutely amazing just to see the players given that opportunity to pour back into the communities they play in, man. It just felt good to see, man. Like this poverty-stricken city that we live in. That's like one of the poorest cities, and what they say is one of the most violent cities. But wherever there's poverty, there's violence. Breaking news, one of these cities that gets such a bad bill. We have a pro team in this city, and they care about the community. And that's something that I can stand on, that I'm proud to be a part of. It's a great event. Mari, Drew Hill and the Michael Cole were there to cover the event. It was good, and I wish more media was there. The news, a couple of the news stations were there, but we go to the practices and all those type of things. This is something that I wish got more coverage, to see just people in the city. And I don't think the families knew the players were going to be there. The players came in, and you saw kids, excited, and it was great, man. It was a great event, and they took pictures with the families and all those type of things. So salute to the Memphis Grizzlies organization. Salute to Gooder. Salute to United Way to Mid-South. My job. It was good. I really had a great time, man. And it just kind of it on the emotional side, it just took me back, because I lost my mom in 2008, lost my dad 2015. No, 2015 I lost my dad. But it just took me back to how our parents found a way to make shit happen, bro. We'll wrap that up and just talk about the whole Thanksgiving thing, like the things you can be thankful for. Because we get so excited about stuff that really ain't got nothing to do with nothing, bro. But it just took me back to how my parents just made a way to make stuff happen. And just to see these families excited because they didn't have to find a way. A way was found for them to have Thanksgiving dinner. You know what I mean? So great event, man, for sure. I enjoyed it. And I'm looking forward to the Thanksgiving season. Easily one of my favorite holidays, man. It's a slow down holiday where you can just kind of, you ain't gotta be. It's not about buying gifts. It's just enjoying what you already have. Sitting down, watching a football game with your kids, your family, your significant other, whatever.
Enjoying the people that you love and that love you, man.
Yeah, man. That's awesome holiday is Thanksgiving. Ain't no music for it. None of that type of stuff. We got beans, tomatoes. That's it. That's all Thanksgiving.
Greens, potatoes.
Hey, I got some music we could for Thanksgiving. You ready?
Right, come on.
Correction, that's the plan, baby.
I knew you
Don't put your life in these weird hands, baby. It's not enough. Few solid left, but it's not enough. But it's not enough. Say you bigger than myself, but it's not enough.
Let me let's talk about that real quick. All right.
Copyright like a bud.
Right. You might get the whole thing flagged. Screwing around. All right. With all this hard work, we got 500 people that came in. This man about to get this shit shut down. The Kendrick album. I'm gonna give my quick review. Right now, right? I am a Kendrick Lamar fan. I'm a Drake fan. I'm more of a Drake fan than a Kendrick Lamar fan. And I'll give y'all just a quick backstory to Anthony Sain. I did not listen to much secular music for a nice part of my life. I was a church weirdo. And me and Kenny both didn't listen to a lot of secular music. We listened to Christian rap and sports radio. Sports radio was my Nicorette gum for hip hop.
Trap music was mine.
You know what I'm saying? To stop me from listening to secular music, I would listen to sports radio, and that's how I started getting into all this, right? Because I would listen to that instead of listening to whatever. And but when I started back listening to secular music, one of the gateways into that was Kendrick Lamar, Drake. Chance the Rapper was big at the time. He was really coming out when I first started coming back. And J. Cole, those are pretty much the Kanye West. Those are the guys who were kind of
Future somewhere.
Future. Those are the guys who ushered me back to secular music, right? So Kendrick Lamar is always going to be a special part of hip hop to me because that's who the guy was when I was coming back in. He was one of my guys. I was coming back in. But this is my only thoughts on that album. There's certain things that I look at to be part of a Kendrick Lamar album. There's certain elements that are always there. I can't really describe what those are, but they're just elements. It's like there's just certain things about a Kendrick Lamar album that just always there. And this just don't feel like a Kendrick Lamar album. Do I think it's a bad album? No, but it just don't sound like a Kendrick Lamar project. And I understand people evolve, people change. I had this conversation with Amari today because Amari was like, and I said the same thing too, even before I had the conversation with Amari over breakfast, is that I think a lot of the stuff we were hearing with Kendrick is stuff he probably wanted to do a while ago, but TDE just didn't let him be that dude.
Mm-hmm.
But me personally, I'm not a fan of the West Coast sound. Like I'm not a fan of music that makes dudes dance in circles. I don't. When I hear dance music, I want to see ass cheeks clapping. I don't want to see dudes like throwing up sets. I'm good. I don't want to see that. Like I'm not a fan of the West Coast sound. I never was. Like the old school, like Snoop Dogg and them sound, yeah. But like the stuff that's like that era right after them, I was not a fan of it. And there's a reason why the West Coast died off after that. And then the Kendrick Lamar was the guy they said that brought the West back. You know what I mean? That's all part of that whole thing. So as a Kendrick Lamar fan, it just don't sound like a Kendrick. It just don't sound like a Kendrick Lamar project. And I understand that the stuff that happened this summer kind of forced him to go into another lane, right? Like it literally forced him to go into another lane because he's exploring different sounds now. Like hearing Kendrick Lamar rap on the SWV track, I'm like, all right, bro, what am I listening to? Like, and it's a good ass song, but it don't sound like a heart. It does not sound like a heart song. You know what I'm saying? I think it's a really good song. Like that don't sound like the heart to me. Now I know people change, they evolve. He can do that. That's cool, but it's gonna have to grow on me. And another thing too, bro. Why did you make me and Amar talked about this too, bro? Why did you make a Roll Down the Windows album in fucking November? Like,
that's your soul slide. That's your soul slide.
It's a Roll Down the Windows. Like now I gotta wait till April to enjoy this motherfucker. Like
knowing him, he gonna do something. The way he dropping stuff now,
he should have dropped this but right after the beef. But it's so crazy because a few summers ago, he dropped this damn Therapy album in the middle of the summer. Like, bro, you should have dropped that in the sad months of November to January.
Kendrick is a weird dude.
He's a weird dude, but like I said, it'll grow on me. I'm not on it right now. I can't get into it right now. Like I'm sure it will grow on me. There are some songs I think are great. I think the Hard Part 6 is great. I think the song that's what you just played, Turn the TV Off.
Turn the TV
off. I think that's a good song.
Reincarnated is my favorite.
Terrible. Like why? Oh, that's the thing.
I like that.
Like I can't get with the Tupac cosplay.
That's why, because I'm a Tupac. Yeah, I'm a real Tupac fan, so that's probably why.
All right, I'm gonna close the show with a very unpopular Tupac opinion.
Oh no.
Oh, y'all already talked. Well, you can tell the rest of the
I've told it to you on the air. If Tupac Shakur was alive, he would not be Tupac. Like we would not look at him the way that we do. And I think the way that we look at Tupac the way he was because he was the very first hip hop artist to pass away. He was a very especially the first one that was killed of any note. And I think that him dying and becoming a martyr in a sense like that has elevated him much higher than what he actually was. And he wasn't from California, bro. So I don't. Okay, so let's have that conversation too. Like I said, I like Tupac's music, but him passing away, him being murdered, definitely elevated
him bigger than
and what he probably would.
I agree with that premise.
But
hey, real quick, ESPN just put out their power rankings. The Grizzlies are now number 8. They were 11.
Because they know what's up, bro. They know what's up.
Real quick.
But yeah, it's been a fun show, gentlemen. Thank y'all for tuning in. Shout out to the people who jumped into the live. We're at about close to 500 views on all platforms. Pretty good stuff from your tribal chief. And shout out to that dude on Twitter yesterday said that Chris Twitter didn't exist before Space.
We could have got off.
Now hold on. All right, we're out.
We could have finished without even breaking it up.
Bruh, I know I'm an old bastard on this Twitter stuff. I'm like, bro, there was a much better time than the times are right now. Shout out to the people who do spaces for sure, but come on, man, let's relax. Let's stop. Like y'all don't remember me tweet for food. I can see that now. Shout out to if you know, man. Me tweet for food, who was one of the better Twitter accounts of all time.
If your birth date starts with a 2000,
just sit this one out.
Just
sit it out.
Right, I see.
Stop
so
making those broad statements.
Yeah, sit it out, man.
This didn't exist before this, bro.
And
stop
one thing,
and then retweeting talking about only 5 people. Only 5 people said today we won't hear back then. Okay, that's.
Oh, he said 25. I said, bro, you only had 6 people who liked your whole tweet, and nobody responded like, yeah, man, you're right. Nobody. I was tripping out that dude, but shout out to him. I can't remember his name, but shout out to him. But that's another thing too, man. Like the only thing now is that the old Twitter, it was organic. Like we literally were just saying what we had to say because that's what we felt, or because there was a circle of people that we thought we were there to entertain, to make them laugh. Now it's like people just say a bunch of stupid shit
just to get the numbers,
just to try to get a check from Twitter, and like that made it weird. Like that's made Twitter weird as hell.
I thought to myself when they said that when I saw that, and we can put a stick in it. I don't want to keep blasting on dude, but the Memphis Flyer used to do a yearly bracketology of Grizz Twitter back in the day. They had I don't remember how many people they had in it. Anthony, you were in a lot of those, and it became a real loud thing where folks could vote. Like it was like top 1 seed, 8 seeds. It was different regions and divisions, and someone would meet in the middle, and that's how they would win. They would vote on this thing.
They did every March.
I haven't seen that in a long time. in a long time.
Grizz Twitter used to be off the chain, and it was so much that came from Grizz Twitter, like from people who started off just getting their shit off on Twitter, and you had like Shy Brown, the stuff she was doing, All Heart Hoop City, that turned into the Memphis Flyer podcast, and myself, radio stuff, Sports Illustrated, covering teams. Parrish with somebody Grizz Twitter, Grizzly Bear Blues, Bluff City Media, all these things were born from Grizz Twitter, bro. Like, and it's undeniable. You know what I mean? The stuff, Locked on Grizz. All those things, man, like were birthed from Grizz Twitter. And
Grizz 901 show,
yeah, all that stuff, man.
Grizzly,
3 Shades of Blue, all that, bro, was all born from Grizzly's Twitter, and it ain't much coming from that joint now, man. just being real, like it's. But I mean, I could kind of say that because you got guys like Christian Ingram, who were guys who started in Spaces and doing Grizz Twitter, and him being on Spaces was a platform we could get his shit off, and he's branched that into a very successful and podcast with no bluffing. Yeah, but it's like, bro, it's kind of crazy to act like it wouldn't like Grizz Twitter didn't exist before Spaces. The Spaces are cool, you know what I mean. Me personally, it ain't my thing. Like, it's a little bit too chaotic. Like, there's a little too much going on for me. Like, I pick up a mic, man, and talk. I'm not a fan of passing the mic. Whoever wants to grab the mic, I'm not a fan of that at all. So, I like this set up with the comments. Yeah, everybody. I don't believe everybody should have access to the microphone, because that's really the only thing. My OCD don't allow me to really understand Spaces or get in there long. It's just too much going on. It's too much going on. But what were you saying, Ken?
No, you're good. That's it. That's all.
But shout out to the people who do it, because I ain't got time for it. Because this hour and 17 minutes is getting on my nerves.
And I legitimately shout out to those guys. It's not our lane. Mm-hmm. I hope it segues into something big for y'all. I really do, man. Just like all the established media that you see covering the Grizzlies now, mm-hmm. that has all segued for a large portion of them from Grizzlies Twitter. And I hope that that's the trajectory for those guys as well.
Yeah, because it could be profitable. It could be something you just enjoy doing. That you find fulfillment in. So I hope those guys, can find whatever their. I don't really know what the target is sometimes, but I hope they find whatever their target is. Hope whatever they're trying to be, it can happen. And like I said, I don't really have a relationship with nobody that's really. Of course, he don't do it no more though. What's my guy?
Wilcox?
No. Bryson. Bryson was one
Bryson.
Started doing all that shit.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm cool with him, but like I don't really have a relationship with nobody else over there. But like I wish them dudes the best, man. I hope they get to what they're trying to do. I kind of feel like a lot of stuff that happens in that world that me and Cam Rose are either responsible for one way or another. Good. So yeah.
A lot of folks adopted the Outsiders brand, didn't they?
Yeah, the Outsiders brand is really kind of. There's a lot of people who've gotten that, and it's an honor, man. Because I think about the stuff that me and Cam did, how crazy and how wild we were, but it was calculated, and it gained a lot of respect. And I think that we were talented enough to do certain things with it
to make it work.
That's the only advice I have for all these guys. Like, it's good to have the shock value, to do things to get people's attention, to get eyes on you. But the thing is, like, what do you do when those eyes are on you? Like, what's the next step after that? You have to be able to flip it into something, or you could just enjoy it, setting shit on fire. That could be your thing too. You know what I mean? That's the thing. Keep doing it. But like I said, I don't. Those guys have their lane. It's a lane I don't want to touch. I don't have the patience for it. It's a little bit too loosey goosey for me. And I've seen it done in other markets. It may be just as wild. But like my guy
in Houston,
Bias Houston.
Bias Houston.
I think he's pretty good. I have never really been in there too much.
He was one of the best interviews. When you brought him on, I was so impressed by him.
Yeah, anyway. he's really good. Yeah. But he's a potter too, though. You know what I mean? I had people
he had a game where he got like Houston Rockets Twitter. They all met up, linked up at a Houston Rockets game.
Yeah, he's pretty dope. And I've had people say things like, saying you should get into the Spaces lane, save us. And I'm like, no, I'm good. They got it, man. Bro, the thing is, like I said, attention is attention, man. Like if people are paying attention to you, like that's undeniable. But it's just what are you doing with that audience once you have them? Like that's the thing. That's the thing that has to be capitalized on.
Yeah, and we're here at the Anthony Sain Show. We're adopting Anthony's motto for the years. That's just peace, man. We want peace in our lives, bro. We ain't got time for none of that.
Man, it's Thanksgiving week, man. Why?
Yeah, too much to be thankful for, bro.
All right.
Man, I ain't got. And I see people arguing about this and that and cussing each other out and go like, bro, at the end of the day, bro, it's fucking basketball, bro. Like, bro, we talking about basketball and we're a good ass team. I don't have nothing. I ain't got no smoke with none of y'all. I wish y'all the best, man. Cause it was a guy that came at me yesterday. When I questioned the guy about the whole thing, he said, well, Grizz Twitter just started. It wasn't no Grizz Twitter or something like that. And I quoted him. He came back and said something. He deleted it. I said, brother, have I ever said anything that make you feel away? Because I think I kind of know who you are. I don't think we've ever had any negative interaction or whatever. He was like, no, man. It's all. I was like, because sometimes we just like, I could have came at the dude crazy. If I just came to him like, bro, it's like, help me understand where that came from. He was like, nah, man, I was just shooting off a little bit because he immediately deleted or whatever. But we just need more of that, man. Just have more patience and grace for each other, bro. We'll be all right, man. It's gonna be a super fun season, man. It's gonna be a super fun year. But yeah, man, for Paris Sharkey, for my man Kenny Stubblefield, it's been a great show. I really enjoyed this, man. Wish I could do this more often. If you want me to do this full time, there are ways you can help. Yeah, but I appreciate y'all. About to crank this thing up even more. The show I told you both of y'all I want the show to look and feel different this year, and I think we did a great job of doing it. It's got a totally different vibe to it. I love the energy. I love the interaction. I love how things are going. I appreciate y'all, and we will see. Hope you guys have a very, very blessed holiday.
Enjoy y'all's Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
man.
definitely won't be a show Friday because that means we have to record Thursday. Ain't happening. So we'll see you guys next week, man, and we out.
Thank you for listening to the Anthony Sain Show. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. For comprehensive coverage of Memphis sports, head over to www.bluffcitymedia.co and find out how you can become an insider. We will see you back here next week.